So, today we're diving into a project that's been called everything from a utopian dream to a straight up dystopian nightmare: Saudi Arabia's The Line. And really, we've got to ask the big question: is this the future of how we live, or is it one of the biggest, most audacious gambles in human history? I mean, just let that sink in for a second. We're not just talking about building a new city. We're talking about a project so massive it kind of redefines what's even possible and what's at stake. That word, gamble, is really the key here, and it's the thread we're going to be pulling on today. All right, so a gamble in the sand. What does that actually mean? What exactly is being built out there in the Saudi desert that has the entire world watching so closely? Okay, so picture this: a city that stretches for 400 miles, literally carved out of a barren desert. That's The Line. But this isn't just about building some new houses and office buildings. The goal here, the ambition, is to create a blueprint for how we all might live one day.
Now, let's get into the vision, what they're actually promising. Because, this isn't just about building a city. They're pitching it as this kind of high-tech paradise, a vertical Eden in the middle of nowhere. So the whole thing is built on this wild idea called zero-gravity urbanism. And really, it just flips the whole concept of a city on its head. Instead of sprawling out, The Line, it goes up. Think of it like a city turned on its side, where your apartment, your office, maybe even your favorite park are all just a quick elevator ride away.
And the specs on this thing, they are just out there. We're talking about a structure 400 miles long, but only 200 meters wide. It's supposed to be this completely self-contained world for millions of people, where literally everything you need is just a short walk or an elevator ride away. And look, this isn't just some sci-fi movie concept. They are actually digging. Right now, they're carving this massive line in the sand, a trench so huge you can see it from miles away. The dream is slowly but surely becoming a reality. Okay, but a dream this big? It's gonna have a huge cost. And I'm not just talking about money. So let's get real and dig into the massive, very daunting challenges that The Line is up against. Right, and this is where the whole utopian vision kind of crashes into reality. The Line is being marketed as this super green, eco-friendly paradise. But the very act of building it, well, that creates a huge environmental and logistical headache. So let's break down the three biggest hurdles. First up, water. I mean, you've got millions of people and these vertical forests in the middle of the desert. That requires a mind-boggling amount of desalinated water, which takes an insane amount of energy. Then you've got the materials. Think about it. All that steel and glass. The carbon footprint to make that stuff is going to be massive, like adding a new country to the map. And finally, the structure itself. You build a 400-mile-long mirrored wall. What do you think that does to migratory birds? It's a potential death trap that slices right through ancient wildlife paths. And just to give you a sense of the scale here, just the first phase of construction uses more steel and glass than some entire countries use in a year. The emissions from producing those materials, that alone is a big deal on a global scale. And, beyond all the environmental stuff, there's a really human question here. What would it actually be like to live there? To spend your life in a 200-meter-wide canyon made of glass and steel? What's the psychological impact of living in this perfectly engineered but totally artificial world? So, when you put it all together, you have to ask, what's the legacy of The Line going to be? Is it really a blueprint for our future? Or is it just going to be this giant, expensive monument to what? Ambition? Folly? So you've really got two completely different paths this could go down. On one hand, you have the dream, right? A sustainable city, a model for how we could all live better. But on the other hand, you have the nightmare scenario, a trillion-dollar ghost town, an ecological disaster just left to rot in the desert. And at the end of the day, you know what might decide all of this? Money. Plain and simple. Can a project this massive stay financially afloat when the whole world is slowly moving away from the oil that's paying for it? Because if that investment dries up, this whole incredible structure could literally just fall apart. Which brings us right back to where we started. Is The Line a real attempt to mesh technology with nature? Or is it just the biggest, boldest example of humanity trying to bend nature to its will? The truth is, that story is being written right now, in the sands of Saudi Arabia, and the whole world is watching to see how it ends.